e-commerce landscape has shifted a lot over the last 3 years, and I see 3 major areas that e-commerce is going now and into 2024 that you're going to want to make a move on as early as possible, because your competitors absolutely will be. So I work for Empire Flippers, which is a brokerage and a marketplace for online businesses where people can buy and sell their online businesses, including e-commerce businesses. And there are 3 areas that I'm seeing now that will impact the way that business owners decide to build and grow their e-commerce brands and their business. So first is off Amazon marketing, so how you're building traffic and how you're generating sales. Second is how to get your brand and your products to stand out. And third is the shift in supply chain and where the future manufacturing powerhouses likely will be outside of China. So first, in the area of traffic and sales, is going to be social commerce. So if you haven't heard of what social commerce is already, it's essentially the combination of a social media platform with e-commerce. So pretty much it's where people on social media, users, can purchase a product seamlessly from the content that they're watching. So the takeaway here is removing the distraction or allowing users to stay in that kind of like that entertainment dopamine loop, to not remove that from the purchase decision. And it's showing that brands are really seeing success in making the e-commerce experience more organic. Now, I have my own thoughts about how healthy this is going to be for humanity, but I can't argue with how healthy this is likely going to be for businesses who take advantage of social commerce. Now, TikTok is showing itself to be a platform that is ripe for social commerce, largely because it is a video-focused platform. And what TikTok is doing is it's not only entertaining people, but it's also allowing brands to show potential customers how their products are being used, and ideally in a fun and entertaining way, so as not to distract or remove from the entertainment aspect of being on the social platform to begin with. And one example of this in my own life recently is around canned fish. So my friend actually called me the other day and she said that she got into canned fish, and the reason why she did that is because apparently it is becoming a thing on TikTok to combine canned fish with other ingredients that is making it seem like a trendy and new product. Now, canned fish is definitely not new, and it's definitely not really exciting to most people. So the question to ask yourself is, if you are a brand owner, if you have a product, do you have a canned fish type product? Do you have a product that maybe doesn't seem that exciting, or is maybe seen as an older product or a less trendy product that you might be able to breathe life into through combining in some way that people would be willing to share? So that's the first element. And then of course, being able to seamlessly integrate that with a checkout page so that people can buy that product. Now, other platforms are doing this, pretty much every other social media platform. Some are more social commerce-y than others, meaning some are removing those checkout steps more effectively than others. So Instagram is allowing you to purchase directly from an image as opposed to before where you were redirected by clicking on a link. Facebook allows you to live stream products and allows people to purchase directly from that live stream. So as far as choosing the social platform, there are some that are better to other audiences, other age groups than others. Probably TikTok is maybe for a slightly younger crowd, whereas Facebook is for an older crowd. So think about what kind of products you are selling and where your audience will tend to exist socially, and leverage social commerce to create a more interactive engagement with that audience and remove the barrier to them checking out and purchasing that product. So getting in front of your audience or your customers is one thing, but the next question is, how are you going to now stand out amongst your competitors and be the thing that people buy? We've seen this recently in the content space, especially, where you not only have blogs, but you now have blogs in combination with newsletters as a way of being able to connect with your audience in a non-transactional way, to provide entertainment or to provide information, to provide value in a way outside of the direct transactional component of your business. And that holds true with e-commerce as well, where people are thinking more about how to build an audience and do more branding type of activities around their business. Now, branding is described in a lot of ways, but it's ultimately the activities that you do to influence the way that people talk about your business and how they think about your business. So a lot of the benefits of doing branding right or doing branding activities is that you'll build an email list, for example, and you'll have a way to communicate with your audience in an ongoing basis for free. And that opens up to other benefits, which includes repeat purchases, being able to test new products and test new markets at lower risk, and of course stand out amongst your competitors. Now, one way of doing that, as I mentioned before, is by building an email list or an email newsletter. Now, you're gonna have to do that off of Amazon, so that's one of the reasons why it definitely makes sense, even if you are building a business primarily on Amazon, to have your own website, a Shopify store that would allow you to collect email addresses, to perform email marketing, to interact with your audience, to learn more about your audience, and have another way to promote your products. Now, also thinking about the personality behind your brand and just communicating what you stand for, it helps both in the social commerce context, but it also helps in terms of if you ever have sponsors that you're going to pay to promote your product, how would they describe your product to customers? If you can think about this in the context of what would make your product more compelling, if you have a story behind it, that will help you across all of your marketing efforts. All right, next let's talk about some of the countries that are quickly becoming powerhouse manufacturers outside of China. So the past few years, due to the global situation, that caused a lot of supply chain issues, a lot of inventory issues for businesses, just due to the location of China being far away from the US, shipping costs were changing, shipping limitations, inventory being stuck at docks, and therefore out of necessity, people began looking at other countries in order to manufacture and source their products. And this is what kind of started that what is becoming a snowball in terms of manufacturing locations and infrastructure in other countries. And the first on my list is Mexico. So Mexico, I think, is going to be a much bigger manufacturing location, largely because of its geography. It shares a border with the US, and there's a lot of benefit in terms of inventory management when it comes to working with a manufacturer that is close to your fulfillment centers. You get to spend less overall on the inventory size because you don't need to wait as long to ship inventory from the manufacturer to the fulfillment centers. Additionally, if you need to make any emergency orders, sending it by air as opposed to sea is a much more viable option. You can also visit the manufacturers directly, develop a relationship, see what other products you might be able to manufacture. It just improves your operations overall by working with somebody who is closer to your location. And the first mover advantage is definitely there. Like if you think about Alibaba in its early stage and those who worked with manufacturers around that time, they probably got better prices just because there were fewer people reaching out to them that would inflate the prices overall. So that's something you can definitely explore in Mexico, even if you want to just consider it as a backup, or if you want to reach out to other manufacturers in other parts of the world. I would say look at Vietnam, look at India. I would definitely consider your options within the US or Canada just to keep things domestic or have an option that is domestic. Ultimately, if you're able to get this down the supply chain side, that makes your business not only better for you, but it's also one of the points that buyers look at when they look at acquiring an e-commerce business about how strong the supply chain is for that business. So when looking into this next year in terms of how to grow your e-commerce business, I would definitely look at social commerce in terms of how to grow your presence and how to improve or add another sales channel. I would look at ways to improve your branding, how to improve the interaction that you have with your audience, maybe through an email list, maybe through thinking about how you're communicating your product message. And the third part is looking at other suppliers, other manufacturing opportunities in Mexico, in other parts of Asia, maybe even domestically. And if you are interested in learning more about everything that's going on in the online M&A space, we do have our This Week in M&A newsletter. It goes out every Friday. It's free. So if you're interested in that, subscribe using the link below. And if you are interested in buying a business and you want to know the best way to negotiate the price on that business, then click on the video here. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.